Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined once again by Marsha Sewdass. Exciting to have her here. She's a mindset coach for women. The name of her company, Infinite Coaching and Wellness. Welcome back today. How are you?
Hi, Jill. I am fine. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. It's great to be back.
Would you mind introducing yourself and your company to us?
Absolutely. So my name is Marsha Sewdass, and I am the CEO of Infinite Coaching and Wellness Limited, and we are located in beautiful Caribbean island of Trinidad, and our reach, of course, is global.
Beautiful. And how can we get in touch with you? What's your website?
Of course, it's www.infinitecoachingwellness.com, and you could connect with me as well on social media on Instagram at Marsha_mindset coach, and our contact number is 1-868-302-2471.
So great to see you. We've had some great conversations the past few weeks. For those of you just on the podcast, not on the Zoom, we're here live today, face to face, excited to talk. But she really helps women like myself and a lot of us out there, right? That you get into the 40s and confidence, you may dim a little bit, but no, there's no need, right? Once you hit your 40s, it should be your next best life. Can you explain the concept of what you do and how you're helping people? And I know we're going to talk today a little bit further in regards to, oh my gosh, what were we talking about today?
Habits.
I was going to say hopes, habits. But yes, so tell me a little bit more about the type of people that you do work with before we begin.
All right. So my core group is high-powered women, high-performing women in their 40s plus. And the reason why that is such a sweet spot in our span of life is because that is the age at which we start to look at things a whole lot differently. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the time our kids are grown. Maybe that's the time we have gotten a whole lot of life experience, right, under our belt, and we know a bit differently, and we have seen the world in a different light. And that is also the age at which our bodies start to change. Yeah. So physically, right, and physically, mentally, it starts to connect, as well as that's a time when as far as work goes, that's a time we have probably gained so much experience that we now are not newbies, but we are actually experts in some field, and we feel the need to give back and take from the inner, right? And not depend on what's outside, but depend on what's inside to validate us.
Got it. So again, we're here talking about limited beliefs, facing fear, having faith, building clarity. And today, let's talk about habits. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Habits. Good and bad. That could drag us down. But go ahead. We got to develop better habits, right?
Yes. You have it correct, Jill. So we have good habits and we have bad habits, right? Now, the thing is, in the perfect world, you would all want to have great habits, good habits, right? Because what is a habit, first of all? Well, a habit is a practice that you do on a regular basis. And as we say in the perfect world, it is supposed to be something that benefits us physically or mentally, right? The thing is, sometimes we are, caught by shiny objects, or we are caught by a comfort zone, and we stick into a habit that may have suited us earlier on, maybe years ago. But of course, through the passage of time, not everything we could take with us as we progress in life, right? So maybe let's just be real. Maybe the fast food and the fast life that you lived in your 20s, it may not be all that great for you now, all right? Or the lack of sleep, waking up late, burning the midnight oil was great earlier on, but you need to catch up on a few things now. So those are habits, and I want to urge our listeners, take this moment, take this topic, take this episode to reassess where you are at with your habits. It's not too early, it's not too late to reassess where you are at. We are creatures of time, we are creatures of habit, and sometimes as human beings, we look at time in terms of a new month. Well, we're starting a new month, right? Tomorrow. We look at things like a new year or maybe a birthday to start something new, but it's not. There's never a perfect time. The time to start is now, right? Assess your habits, see where you are. Let's change things around for the better, Jill, because we all want to get better, don't we?
I agree. And I told you this, since the pandemic, it's been like, wow, life is so precious. Now is the time. Let's make it happen. Because we all went through so much, and who thought we'd all be in that situation, in that boat? But it inspired me to live a better life and start doing the things that I want to do, like with my children, going on trips, vacations, and little things. But it's inspiring me to do more instead of being lazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what, Jill? I like that you said that because everybody went through some kind of epiphany moment
Yeah.
during
Mm-hmm.
that time,
Oh,
right?
it did. Yeah.
Let's be more there, let's be there for our family, let's look after ourselves, let's do more fun things, make more memories, do those things. But I want to urge everyone, let's not get back into the
Yeah.
routine that used to be,
Mm-hmm.
because so often people said, let's get let's go back to how things were. No,
Yeah.
I want to change your mindset a bit and say, let's not go back, let's move forward, because things can be a whole lot better, not necessarily go
Yeah.
back, but go forward. Yeah. So I want to, as we talked about what good habits are, I want to start with a quote because I like to get people's attention with these things, right? So it all starts with your thoughts, right? As a mindset coach, we work with the thoughts. So your thoughts would dictate what your words are, right? What your
Mm-hmm.
beliefs are and what your words are. And the words you are speaking, right? They become your actions,
Yeah.
and your actions become your habits. So if you reverse engineer, you're going to see it has to start with the thoughts that you have,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you reverse engineer, it's going to start with your thoughts. So we know what habits are. Now we know why we need habits, right? Or we could get further into that. So why do we need these habits? Well, it starts with your why. Why do you want to get up every morning and, let's say, exercise? Why do you want to do that? There has to be a reason why. And it has to be touching you so deeply that you now commit to doing it. You see a purpose for doing it. Now, often, if we are only doing it because somebody said, well, you have to do it, we're not that encouraged. We might do it a few times and then give up on it. But
Mm-hmm.
if there's a reason why, let's say you want to get up and exercise because, and this is just an example, because you want to live a healthy life, you want to make sure your cholesterol stays down, you want to increase your energy levels for the day, because you have a whole lot of things you need to get done. You need to have that energy to take care of your family, to get your tasks done, your job done, and you want to be able to run around with your kids. You want to be able to go on the playground and swing and climb with them, right? You
Yeah.
want to do those
Yeah.
things. When those are your reasons why, then you are more than likely to stick with it. But if you're doing it because, well, it's the trending thing, well, I'm doing it because a group of friends are doing it, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep them company, I'm just gonna enjoy it. Yes, all that is fine because it's good to have company, but you must have a real deep rooted reason why you're doing this so that you can stick to it, right? And I want to encourage you as well, habits tie in with goals, because you must have a goal at the end, but you have to have the action,
Yeah.
and that comes in the habit, right? So the other thing is, when you have, take it in small bites, in small chunks. So you have this huge goal, but sometimes because it's so big, you find it's overwhelming. You find
Yeah.
it's so much to take on.
Yeah.
It's like, I love to read, and sometimes the books are quite thick, and you may feel overwhelmed that this is quite a big book to tackle, but you're going to read one chapter at a time.
At
You're
a
going to read
time.
one
Baby steps. I say
paragraph.
baby steps.
Yes,
Yep.
baby
Mm-hmm.
steps, exactly. And whatever your accomplishment is, if you get through that level, celebrate it. We have to celebrate our wins, Jill. Don't you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
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 Celebrate your wins so that you feel motivated. It's not only when you accomplish the huge goal and you finish that big, thick book. No, finish whatever goal that you've hit and you've accomplished. Celebrate that. It gives you the drive, it gives you the inspiration, it gives you the willingness to go to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It really is. And the type of people you're working with, right? I mean, we always want action quick. We want what, how does it work? How do we start, and how many days a week are we meeting to go over these things? And how do you help instill someone with it? Because, it's accountability as well. You're here to help.
Yes.
But yeah.
So, okay. So for example, with my own clients, when I work with my clients, we do have connection like this because I work virtually, but we meet and we go through your individual personalized action plan.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you may have a general plan, like I want to get healthy, I want to exercise, or I want to start my own business,
Mm-hmm.
how do I do that?
Yeah.
We turn it into something individual for you. And accountability, that is something that people really need. Now you could have, and I tell my ladies this, my clients this, yes, we have our sometimes our husband or loved ones or sisters, someone who we could talk to and use as our accountability partner.
Of course.
However, sometimes they may love us so much that they may give us too much of slack
Mm-hmm.
and let us off the hook,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or we might be stuck and they don't have the tools or the expertise to take us over that stumbling block that we are on,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't go over that hurdle, right? So
Yep.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
as much as they, yes, we love them and we appreciate their help, sometimes you need the help of someone who can guide you along the path because they have been along that path before. I often say you wouldn't go in one store to buy something that the store doesn't sell. You would go to somebody who knows it. You wouldn't go to a plumber to ask for advice on how to bake.
True.
You have to
Yeah.
go to the right person for the right thing.
The
Okay.
specialist. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And that person is going to help you to navigate the potholes and navigate the stumbling blocks so that you don't have to do it. Because I don't know, sometimes you want to achieve a goal. It's not that you want to wait 10 years for it,
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
You
Yeah.
you want to achieve it so that you could get to the next level. That's why the ladies that I work with, they are high performing ladies because they want to hit their goals and they want to get there in
Yeah.
the best way possible.
Well, I love it. Marsha, Sewdass, do me a favor. Remind us how we can reach out to you again.
Sure. So my website is www.infinitecoachingwellness.com. And you could connect with me on Instagram as well. It's Marsha Sewdass _mindset coach. And the telephone number 1-868-302-2471.
Perfect. All right, let's continue here. By the way, just a little bit about yourself before we continue with our habit conversation, because new listeners each time, tell us what brought you here, please.
Okay, so my journey into what I do today it started many years ago. I started the world of work as a journalist, right? And I loved doing that. I loved working with people, finding their story and getting the human story out of it, right? I went into the world of education where I was exposed to methods of teaching and learning and even human behavior, because in education, that's what you do. You work with kids, you work with adults, you work with their parents, stakeholders. I gravitated towards leadership. So I was in the area of leadership for 10 years. And during that time, it all sounds great on the professional side, but on the inside, on the personal side, I was going through a lot of struggle. I was going through a struggle of divorce. I was going through a struggle of starting over from ground zero with my two kids and starting to build a life all over again. And
Mm-hmm.
balancing that with being in leadership, trying to be the example to everyone, and yet on the inside I had my own struggles to deal with. So that was a journey that I went through, having to find the balance in that and having to find what really fulfills me, taking a good hard look at where I was, what I'm going through, and I had to make that
Uh-huh.
decision to change this thing. I couldn't be sinking in quicksand or living a life that was not authentic, right? So that brought me into this making some decisions that sometimes you make some decisions that are, not unorthodox. Not everybody makes it, but I decided to step into this purpose to help others, because I know there are other women going through the same thing, sometimes in silence,
Yeah.
and use the skills I acquired over the years, infuse that into helping ladies who are in the same or similar situations. Started this business, started doing that without even realizing there's a business behind what I was
This
doing.
that you were already doing. Yep.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And then took a decision. I said, okay, I am going to exit this, as we call it, the 9 to 5 job, and
Mm-hmm.
go full time into this as my passionate
Passion. Yep.
purpose. Yeah. And
Great.
so it began. and it
Beautiful.
and once I got there, it opened up other opportunities. I now have books on Amazon. So I found those things that were dusted off, right? Like goals that I had at it, because we know what those are. Sometimes we have goals and we leave them on the shelf collecting dust.
Yeah.
Open up myself to do these things that I wanted to get done,
True.
because sometimes in your life there's a time and a place for it. And there's a time such as this for it to happen.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's exciting to have you here again, Marsha Sewdass. Today we're talking here about the way she's helping us ladies out there really benefit. And let's continue with our discussion. I know there's a lot more to it. Where did we leave off?
Okay, so we're talking about habits. So I want to suggest, now I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm going to suggest some habits that we can all implement in our lives just to be
Mm-hmm.
on the, just to make things a little better.
Sure.
Right? Especially if you are a mom and especially if you run a busy life, you have to pour into yourself, ladies. We often neglect ourselves because we're giving to others. We're giving to our kids, we're giving to our colleagues, we're giving to everyone else. Yeah. So let's learn to give to ourselves,
Perfect.
right? And nurture ourselves. So firstly, get on a good schedule. So often as the alarm goes off, we hop out of that bed, we fly off that bed, and we just get the day started. Familiar?
Always. Yes.
Yes. And we just get the day started without a thought to nurturing ourselves, nurturing our mind to make it through the day. Okay. Now, on social media, because we're so exposed to that, we often hear now the word morning routine. Well, if you've heard it, let's put it into practice. And what does that mean for you?
Okay.
What shape does it take for you for a morning routine? Now, you may not have the expertise or the habit. May not have built the habit of doing it. But I want to suggest to, before the day gets busy, before your kids wake up, your husband wakes up, the dog wakes up, before anybody wakes up in the house, you train yourself, put the alarm on maybe 1 hour before that, so that when you are awake earlier, you can have that maybe 60 minutes or so to do your morning routine. What does it look like? Maybe it looks like the time when you are
Yeah.
going to take some meditation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, don't be intimidated by the word meditation, because that could mean simply sitting in silence.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, meditation doesn't mean you have to be into some guru-like thing or anything like that. You don't have to be a practitioner for years. It can mean simply starting off by sitting in silence.
Okay.
And
Good
if
to
you might
know.
say, well, Marsha, I can't sit in silence because my mind is going on. Allow it, because that is going to train your mind to start to get, you're going to actually start to hear your thoughts. And sometimes we have so much going in our head that we don't even get a chance to know what
Yeah.
can I really focus on, right? Forgive yourself if you wander off in your thoughts. Forgive yourself, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine, right? So make that a practice and start small. You don't have to meditate for 30 minutes. That's a lot,
It
right?
is.
That's quite
Yep.
a lot. Try 5. Start with 5 minutes, right? Whether you want to sit in silence or you want to have some soft music playing with it so that you could time yourself and, just focus on something else to train your mind to get into that calm and peaceful mindset. Yeah. Another thing you can do in that morning routine, you can actually journal. Okay. Now, I am an advocate for journaling, right? And journaling is simply being able to put your thoughts onto paper,
Yep.
whether it is thoughts of things that you want to accomplish, or
Mm-hmm.
it could be things that you went through and you learned something from it. So you want to write down the points that you learned. Journaling is not your grocery list. It's not
Mm-hmm.
your shopping list. Please don't make
Yeah.
that your journaling. It's about you. Maybe where you are at, maybe what you did yesterday and you felt really good about it, or maybe you didn't, and you want to write down how you can improve that or what you can take from that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Journaling also means it's not a piece of work that has to be edited. It doesn't have to be corrected. It doesn't have to fall
Mm-hmm.
under the reading pen where it's corrected. No, it's all about you pouring out. Yeah. And
Yep.
it's also a lovely treasure chest to look back on in years to come or in weeks to come and see look how far you've come. Yeah.
Liking that. Yeah.
Yeah. So So that's two
Are we
suggestions.
handwriting journaling or are we putting it on our phones these days?
Uh, I would suggest doing the writing because there's a mind-body connection right
I
there.
agree. I
There's
agree.
a mind-body connection. And actually, on Amazon, I have a collection of journals as well.
Oh,
So that is something you can check out as well, right? So there are journals for women, there are journals for girls. It's all related to self-care, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
Marsha, Sewdass, Amazon, it's there. So you can look for those, right?
Awesome.
Good. And another tip, because we're talking about habits that are going to help us to honor ourselves as women, honor our bodies. Get into the habit of selecting healthier food options.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one
It
because
is. Yeah.
on the go, we tend to eat what's available. And what's available is not always the healthiest choice, but when you do have the opportunity, and sometimes we need to make the time to actually prepare food or to have food available that is healthier.
Yeah.
So I often use the words with my kids, adult snacks,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
the kid snacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes as adult, I mean, I'm human, I'm guilty as well. Sometimes grab for the kid snacks,
Yeah.
right? You know the
Mhm.
stuff. But there are healthy options that we need to mindfully select and intentionally select, knowing that this is the better option. This one is actually good for me,
Yeah.
right? So make the choice each time that you can. Each time you have to make a consume something, eat something. Let it be with mindfulness that you are actually aware of what you're eating, aware of what you're putting in your mouth, and aware that the effects this is going to have on your body. If it's something that's going to give you a sugar rush, or if it's something that's going to get you lethargic and sleepy, right? So because food has different effects on us. And once you become aware of yourself, you get to realize how each thing affects you, right? It could be an individual feeling that you get,
True.
right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you a third one.
Good.
Third one, a habit that we could all inculcate in our lives is to learn to move. Just
Okay.
move,
Okay.
exercise. Now, I have clients who, when I say exercise, I have to, they say, but Marsha, I don't like the gym, or I'm not into weights. You don't have to be, and you don't have to go to the gym. Exercise means simply moving your body and moving it on a regular basis, maybe on
Basis.
a
Okay.
daily basis, right? And actually moving it. And people, we would say we do our housework and our chores. That's all well and good, but I mean, move it with the intention of actually moving those muscles, setting out a time to do so,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you like dancing,
Oh,
put on some music and dance away, dance bare feet. It's actually good for that feminine energy to start flowing, right?
and
When you have,
grounding. Yes.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, Jill. You said it. Yes. So do that. Do
Okay.
that. Move. I'm sure you see, we light up even speaking about it.
Yeah, I got excited thinking, I love dancing. When was the last time I did that? Yeah.
Good. Well, you know what we're going to be doing soon, right? We're going to be getting into some dancing, right? So move. I'm in the Caribbean. We have soca music. I love to put on my soca and just dance to it. Just move, right? And if you could also, as we get older, incorporate some weight training so that we could keep those bones healthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need
Mm-hmm.
them. We need them to stay strong. So it doesn't have to be any kind of heavy weights. It could be light weights, and of course, walking.
Okay.
Walking is always something that we need to put into our lives. Move around more. Give yourself
Yeah.
a challenge. Take those 10,000 steps a day. See if you could do it. Start with 5 and
Yeah.
build up. Yeah. How does that sound so far, Jill?
Sounds good to me. I think so. Marsha Sewdass here coaching us along. Yes, yes, yes.
Now, there's something that all of us could do a lot more of. And
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I want to increase the amount of this particular thing. Practicing gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Practicing gratitude. Now, this is something that when we are grateful for things, it's hard. Okay, so first of all, if you find yourself in the mode of complaining, and finding that things are going wrong. And sometimes we end up like that, we complain and we
Yeah,
see all the dark sides and all the
of
negatives.
course we do. Guilty.
In your mind, it's hard to have gratitude and complaining going on in the same brain, right? Another way to come out of that zone of victim zone or feeling that the world is against us is to focus on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Help someone else. Do something for someone. Take yourself out of the center of your mind and put your focus on someone else. All right. And that is a way of being grateful for what you have, because now you're going to be using some skill or some talent or some gift that you have to help someone else. And that is a surefire way of showing gratitude. When you use the talents that you have for someone else's benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So practice gratitude.
And let me ask you, in the morning, is it best to wake up with a certain habit routine and practice that gratitude in the morning and the night? Any last minute advice before we go?
Okay, yes, I will give you this. So take this one and start it as of today, tomorrow. Yeah, start it. When you wake up in the morning, before you even leave your bed, as your eyes are open and you take your breath, right? Practice saying 3 things that you are grateful for. And here's the challenge of it. Never repeat the same thing twice.
Okay.
You know why? Because we have the name of my company, Infinite, but we have an infinite number of things to be grateful for. And if you keep repeating the same thing, it comes like you're just closing off, you're wearing blinders to all the things that the Almighty has blessed us with.
Very true.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you so much. And Marsha, Sewdass, remind us how we can reach out to you to book a session.
Of course. So the website, www.infinitecoachingwellness.com. And of course, you can reach out to me. The DMs are available on Instagram. So you can reach out to me, Marsha Sewdass _mindset coach. And the phone number where you could contact me, direct phone call or WhatsApp, is 1-868-302-2471.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us, and looking forward to the next time we get to chat again. Awesome. Pleasure getting to see you here in person as well.
I look forward to that as well.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. By the way, what time is it where you are in Trinidad?
It is 10:30 a.m.
Oh, so it's the same time. Awesome. Same here. So enjoy the rest of your morning and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, Jill. Bye.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.